Alright, so we're uncorking the beaver tail soup, if you will. It doesn't look like it. It's cooked down a good bit. I think there's a good bit of juice. I pulled off a little bit earlier just to see what it's going to look like and all. It was still warm, so I'm anxious to see how that does as it cools. If it's going to solidify or if it's going to stay in an oil. I really hope it'll stay in an oil state, but we'll see. But I'm going to try to pull off some more of this, and I wasn't expecting as much of the tails to be left. But I was thinking about kind of chopping those up and putting some sodium benzoate, mixing them up just to try to keep them from rotting or anything like that, and using them like that, seeing how it works. So I don't know, I'm pretty interested to see how she pans out, and we'll see how it looks when everything cools down. That's going to be the biggest thing that I'm wondering, is how it's going to shape up once everything cools down. So admittedly, I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing here. Hope I never gave y'all any impression otherwise, but I did pull off a little bit of this oil, and it's actually kind of separating, so I may need to do some multiple something or other with it. But so I'm gonna kind of try to pull the rest of it off into this glass jar and see. I mean, I think I have a pretty good bit. I think it's going to take, I'm probably going to need to strain it off too, I would guess. Probably need a pan, something to do with actually, hold on one second. Crockpot liners came with 2 liners, so that may be just the right thing to do. I can pull a few of these beaver tails out. Man, that sucker's gonna be tender. You think I should try it? I don't think so. That sucker's hot. Yowza! Yow! It's tender though. The tip of that tail pulled right off. You know, supposedly this was a mountain man delicacy. I don't know that they ever slow cooked them. Golly, that's hot too. Had this thing off a while ago. Anyway, there's nothing special what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of trying to siphon this oil off as much as possible and figure out what the next step that I'll make up in the process is. Still pretty pumped up, still pretty excited. I'm excited to kind of get this stuff out, squirt a little bit of it in the yard, maybe toss a couple of chunks of this out in the yard, see how the dog reacts, see if it's the same reaction that I get from just the fresh tail. Look at that. Whew, pulled right apart. Has anybody ever eaten, I mean, I know that it was a mountain man thing. Has anybody ever eaten beaver tail? I don't know, maybe I'll keep letting it cook longer. Y'all reckon that oil will continue to, that fat will continue to seep out of there? I can't see why it wouldn't. Anyway, hope I'm not boring you. I'll cut the video camera off, but I'll keep you updated on the process, and give me any input, insight, ideas on what you think I should do with the whole kit and caboodle, and we'll see how it shakes out. I tell you what, I'll go toss a little hunk of this to my dog right now. It's hot. I wish I had a cooler piece. We'll just see what he does. Go. I think he's gonna love it. Maybe I can not drop the camera. There he is. Look at him. He's sitting there. Here you go, bud. He's always real skeptical of anything I give him for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because it's hot or because I hadn't given him any of the raw beaver tail in a while. But man, I guess he recognized the look of that beaver tail, and he would, as soon as I would throw one out here, man, he would be on top of it, making sure that I wasn't going to decide to take it back, I guess. A little bit underimpressed at this point. Uh-oh. Must be something to it. Alright, I'm going to call that promising. I'm going to call that proof positive. I might be onto something here. Anyway, I'll follow up with the rest of the process, whatever that winds up being. So I was just thinking that it's not necessarily a slam dunk that the dog was eating it, although he has been sniffing around and looking to make sure he didn't miss anything. But he does eat poop and stuff, so I don't know if that's really telling. And he's not afraid, or he's not an armadillo hater, so that is another strike. I just decided, oh, let's take her out. I just decided I strained off a little, I strained off a little bit of oil, and you can see it's kind of separating there too, so this is probably going to be a multi-stage process. Man, that oil on top, if it'll stay liquid, that's really what I'm hoping it's going to do. It stay nice and clear, and you can see this is what I pulled off in the jar. It's still a little bit warm, but it's got a little skim of gunk on the bottom, but nice, good looking oil on top. But I think I'm going to give that thing, put it on low, and let it rock until tomorrow morning, and check it again and see how she looks. I think it's got more room to kind of render, so I will continue to keep you posted.